welcome to Tillie Floss Art. I'm Claire and this is my art studio. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I've realised recently that although you've seen some of my art now and my creations, squishy makeovers, etc., you don't actually probably know that much about me. So I thought we could just have a little chat today and I could tell you a little bit about me, some of my background in art and some of my life in general. Whilst I tell you about that, I'll be working in this new Ahoo sketchbook. I have had this quite a while now, but I've only just opened it, so we'll do a sketch in this and I think we'll draw an illustration of me. I'll be using fine liners, alcohol markers and probably some gel pens to finish off the illustration. And as we go along, I'll put the names of the markers on screen so that you can follow along if you want to. So let's get to it. Okay, so this is the new Ahoo sketchbook and I have tried the paper inside. It does say it's marker paper, which is great, but I've done some test swatches on the back page just to make sure that it's not going to bleed through onto the page behind it. As you can see, it did bleed through the page, but only onto the back of the sheet, so that's fine. Okay, so I've already sketched the portrait in pencil off camera because I find it really hard to sketch flat on my desk. I have to tilt my sketchbook towards me, otherwise my neck and shoulders are not happy. And unfortunately, that means my head will be completely in the way of the camera as well. So I'm sure you're grateful that it isn't. I'm starting off my sketch now with a Copic brush liner. Any brush liner will do, just make sure that it's definitely alcohol marker resistant. You don't want any smudges when you're doing your colouring in later on. I grew up in a city with both my parents and my younger sister Emma, and we've always been incredibly close. My parents owned a garden ornament factory when I was growing up, and I used to enjoy helping my mum paint all the ornaments ready for sale. I'm not entirely sure that she'd agree that I was actually very helpful though, but they did teach me a lesson which has always stayed with me ever since, and that's always overlap your colours when painting so the edges will always look neat and tidy. And honestly, I still think about that every time I paint anything. I definitely think my drawing and painting abilities came from my mum though, as they absolutely, definitely did not come from my dad. My dad can't draw for peanuts, but give him a camera and he can take the most incredible creative photographs. In fact, give him any tool and he can pretty much do anything. Both my parents have always been unbelievably supportive of everything I do. When I became interested in sewing, my dad didn't just buy me everything I needed. He bought himself the same equipment so that he could learn alongside me. And my mum sat with me for hours and helped me figure out the best ways of altering garments and the best stitching techniques. She always gets the job of pinning everything though, as I tend to skip that part. They genuinely show interest in everything I create, and that means more to me than I can ever really explain. My sister Emma is also very creative. Her talents really shine with clay. She can make the most beautiful things out of just a few blobs of fimo. Her attention to detail is second to none. She's also very talented on the keyboard, as is my dad. I believe I've been drawing since I was about 12 years old. I used to collect a magazine called Art Magic every single week, and I would sit for hours reading about that week's artists and copying the tutorials. I absolutely loved it and still have the collection on my shelf today. But then somewhere in my early teens, I just stopped drawing. There wasn't a big reason, nothing dramatic, I just stopped. Which feels quite on brand for a teenager actually. I didn't really come back to art until my late teens when I moved out into my own place. Life felt quite overwhelming at that point and art became my escape. When I was 22, I had my first daughter, Millie.
Millie is a huge support for me. She's not particularly creative, but she's very funny. She's kind, generous, and she genuinely makes my life better every single day. When Millie was 4, I went back to college to study art and design for adults. That course completely changed everything for me, really. I learned about painting, textiles, sewing, pottery, so many different forms of creativity. I completed the course with a distinction, and I was even awarded Adult Student of the Year, which still feels quite surreal if I'm honest. After that though, art was always a part of my life, whether it be drawing, painting, clay, resin, crocheting, sewing. If it involved making something, I wanted to try it. When I was 29, I was lucky enough to meet my partner, Lee. Lee is also very talented artistically. He can draw really well, but unfortunately for the art world, he rarely uses that talent. His escape he finds in fitness instead. Before Florence turned 1, we were involved in a 4-car pile-up on the motorway. I broke my ribs and hit my head. Lee and Millie were injured too, but everyone was wearing seatbelts. Florence was in her car seat and came out completely unscathed, which I'm endlessly grateful for. What followed though was a recovery that just didn't feel normal. It took me a very long time to heal, and I started developing different symptoms as time went on. Pain, fatigue, brain fog, and lots of things that didn't really make any sense to me. Eventually, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I tried to carry on as normal for as long as I possibly could, but the pain and exhaustion and mental fog made that impossible. It's taken me about 5 years to adjust and come to terms with the fact that I'm not who I used to be anymore. I can still do everything I could before, it just hurts me a lot more and sometimes it wipes me out completely. I'm on quite a lot of medication and I'm in pain every day, but the level of pain and where it affects me changes constantly. On bad flare-up days, I struggle to walk, I struggle to stay awake, even after sleeping for hours, and my memory really lets me down. But I'm incredibly lucky to be surrounded by people who support me. I don't like my disability, but I've come to realise that I am who I am now because of it. I have more understanding and more empathy and more gratitude for the good things in my life. And genuinely, I'm a very happy and optimistic person. If you ever notice gaps in my upload schedule or quieter periods, then this is usually the reason why. You might also notice that I do always wear my housecoat. You'll see the sleeves on pretty much all of my videos, and that's because of fibro. I get cold really easily and the cold affects my body, so I'm always wearing my housecoat or a fluffy jumper. After I was diagnosed, I decided to go back to college and study cake decorating, and I did that for 2 years. I somehow finished the course with a distinction, which I was really proud of, especially considering it involved deadlines, which I'm rubbish with, concentration and far more standing than I'd planned for. After that, I started a small business from home called Tillie Floss Cakes and Bakes. The name Tillie Floss is a little play on words. Tillie rhymes with Millie, and Floss is Florence's nickname, so it felt very personal and also saved me from having to come up with something more sensible. I made cakes for friends and family and carried on doing that until we moved. And it's definitely something I'd love to get back into once we're fully settled. Although Lee would absolutely tell you that I never do the baking, washing up. I just completely bombsite the kitchen and then leave the mess for him, so I'm sure he wouldn't look forward to me getting back into it as much. Florence is now 8 and is incredibly creative for her age. She loves creating alongside me, and colouring skills are amazing. She's given me so much inspiration with her ideas. She's so talented. You might notice in the picture that I'm doing little hints of two black cats floating on the clouds in the background here. These are Ollie and Theo. They were two of my cats who have sadly passed, but they're still very much part of my world. All of my cats are so important to me. I have 6. They're calming, gentle, playful on my good days and snuggle up to me on my worst days. They don't care how productive I am, they just care that I'm here and that I'm me. Recently, after my dad retired, we all moved from the city to a seaside town. I've always felt like the sea was home. I've always been happiest when I'm near it, and this move feels like a fresh start for all of us. And after trying to create art on the corner of my sofa with my art supplies scattered all about the house for so long, I feel so lucky that I now have a whole art room to myself. Well, I say to myself, I have to share it with Florence. So our move here has enabled me to be able to have space to create and begin an art journey I've always wanted to do here on YouTube. That's when I can get to my desk, of course. I want this channel to feel like a safe space, a place where you can be yourself, embrace your skills and enjoy creativity without pressure. This year I want to explore different art styles and character styles because I still haven't found my style yet. I want to review and try out as many art supplies as I can, especially the many I already own and haven't used. Some of them are still in their packaging and I feel judged by them every time I open a drawer. I'd also love to do more art challenges and creative experiments. If you're creative, struggling, or you just enjoy cosy art videos, I'm really glad you're here. Thank you so much for listening to my story, and thank you for being part of Tillie Floss Art. I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!